Go ahead and start. Great. Have you ever thought which is the car's most important part? And what's the relationship with teamwork? Let's find this out together. When there is a work team, it is very likely that there will be no common agreement in many and perhaps most of decisions and directions. Even after a resolution of a conflict, the members of a team may not agree 100% with the direction. Sometimes there is flexibility in postures and thoughts for disagreement. There are several lists of most important soft skills. According to one study, this list. According to another research, that list. However, the ability to work together in a team appears in the vast majority of these lists. Let's think about a car. If I ask you what's the most important part of the vehicle, what would you answer? The engine, the steering wheel, the transmission? Do you understand where I'm going? Each of these systems can be the most important for a person, perhaps because of their affinity, because they designed that part, or because that part is the most expensive in the car. But in fact, each of these systems is useless without the integration with the others, right? What can we do with the state-of-the-art engine without the wheels? Or having the most multifunctional and technological steering wheel without the steering box? And the transmission without the wheels, it's not very useful, right? As obvious as this concept of teamwork is, it is not always so simple to understand and to agree with it. Often the human being ends up being attached to an individual vision, even unconsciously. Imagine when the manager of engineering department has to redo a job because the production department is unable to fulfill a work instruction. Probably this manager's first reaction will not be the best until he can understand that the work is wrong and that if it had been done together with production department, this rework would have been avoided, since at that point any conflict would be already resolved. It is very important to understand that in a company the departments complement each other, and it is the function of the general leadership to ensure that all these gears work in a coordinated way. There is no production without HR. There is no quality without production. You cannot issue any invoice if there is no product and no sale. Nothing is produced without a purchased part and supplied components to the line, and also without the proper tools and work instructions. As in the car example, no part or department is of any use without the others. And more than that, without the others being properly integrated. We cannot expect the engine to serve as the steering mechanism, just as we must not believe that the finance department is responsible for producing. It just doesn't work like that. At this point, I believe it has become very clear that the team and the pieces must work together. So let's think about how to facilitate this joint action to be more effective. I'll give you 5 tips. First one, clear strategy. Define and communicate the strategy to the team. Everyone will understand the final objective and the role of each one in this path. Tip number 2, be proactive. Work actively towards the strategy. Don't stay and don't let your team stay still, waiting for the demands to come. Tip number 3, be empathetic and respect differences. Have the ability to put yourself in the other's shoes and do not expect everyone to act in their own way. It is not always the best or applicable to that situation. Integrating is important. When the team feels there is integration, the aspects I just mentioned are easier. When integrating, team members will understand that it's not just a list of tasks being distributed, but that each activity has a purpose in that larger strategy. Tip number 5. Encourage feedback. Make this communication flow vertically and horizontally. By allowing 360-degree inputs, expectations, goals, and lessons learned become clearer. As said by Ayrton Senna, I'm part of a team, so when I win, I'm not the only one who wins. In a way, I finish the work of a huge group of people. With teamwork, we can reach extraordinary results. It's not possible to achieve fantastic results without a team. Next week I'll be back with more content made specially for you. Don't forget to subscribe and give the thumbs up. See you then.